Thanks for joining me on another edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout, and we're going to be talking about Masonry and the Newton Masonic Lodge and the statewide Masonic Lodge with Wade Sheeler. You also will be able to see what the lodge room looks like in the video podcast, or should I say shortcast, of the Masonic Lodge at outandaboutwithjamiegrout.com. By the way, want to give credit to Little Red, my sweetie, Lynette, for developing the website and also my YouTube channel. And if you want to check it out on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to it. Just type in Out and About with Jamie Grout on the YouTube search engine, and you should be able to find any videos there. But first, a word from our sponsors, including Johnson Aviation. They're excited about their new charter plane that's coming in. Have to talk to Ethan about that real soon and see if it's here. I know he is excited because it's an entirely brand new plane. It's Johnson Aviation at the Newton Airport. Also, Salvation Army later on this week, Friday night. I will be the auctioneer for their annual quilt auction that they have. It'll be held upstairs at DMAC in Newton. They'll also have gift baskets available too, and also neat treats available to munch on while you do your bidding. Make sure you check that out. And also, if you want to be in on the Red Kettle campaign for the Salvation Army, go to registertoring.com, registertoring.com. Also by Pizza Ranch in Newton, and Joel Shields, who can help you with Medicare supplements. It's open enrollment period time now until December 7th. Check it out and find out what it's all about with Medicare supplements and Joel Shields. Give him a call at 641-792-7216. Also by Newton Des Moines East KOA. This podcast is about Masonry. And I've been a proud Mason since 1981. I did what they call proving up in Beatrice, Nebraska back then. The owner of the radio station I worked for there was a Mason, and he sponsored me there. And my dad and another gentleman from Newton, Pete Wright, drove all the way out to Beatrice, Nebraska to watch me prove up. And it's one of the most proud days in my life. And the reason I'm pretty proud of that is it's not only a great organization that supports a lot of people, but it goes back a long ways. And there are people who have relatives. My grandfather on my mom's side was a Mason. My uncle on my dad's side was a Mason. And there are people who don't have any relatives at all that just went into the lodge. And it's very interesting. And so I want to talk to Wade Sheeler, who is secretary of the Newton Lodge, and he's chairman of the Committee on Division and Reference for the Masonic Lodge. And let me tell you something about Wade before we get started. This guy is a go big or go home kind of guy, because he's going to be higher up in the Masonic Lodge next year, and he's going to be president of Newton Rotary. So you want to take some more things on, Wade? I think you have a few things on your plate already.
I think I have enough on my plate right now.
Okay. Let's dispel some myths about Masonry, first of all, that it is like some kind of occult group. It's very secretive. It's just terrible. You know, there are people who say things like that, and I got to say, from my perspective, and I admit I'm prejudiced, it's totally not true.
Let me be very clear. Freemasonry is not a cult. It is a men's fraternal organization. It has existed for literally hundreds of years. We are very open about our beliefs, and you'll notice here on the outside of the lodge building is a Masonic symbol, the square and compass. We're very open as to where we meet. We do things in the community, and so the theory that Freemasonry is a cult is absolutely untrue.
Yeah. Do you think that's because there are a few secrets within Masonry? A very few?
Probably. I think possibly it could go back to what's called the Morgan Affair, which was back in the 1830s. And that was kind of over secrets in Freemasonry. Freemasonry is no different than any other organization. The Knights of Columbus, I'm sure that they have some things that they hold to their members that maybe they wouldn't disclose to the open public. The Elks, the Moose, those are all, they're all the same.
Odd Fellows.
Odd Fellows, yes.
Mm-hmm. You bet. Well, the G Can you talk about what that stands for in the symbol of Masonry?
Yeah, the G, which is kind of unique to to North America, to the United States. If you're over in Europe, the square and compass, you'll not see a G in the square and compass over there. But in this country, the G means two things. It means the sacred art of geometry, and it also makes a reference to God.
Okay. And there are different levels of Masonry, is there not?
There is, in what we call the Blue Lodge, which is your local lodges, there's 3 degrees: entered apprentice, fellowcraft, master mason. Then once you complete those, you can either join the York Rite, you can join the Scottish Rite, which has actually a lot of people have heard of the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason. And then also the Shrine. To be a Shriner, everybody's familiar with the Shriners Children's Hospitals. And to be a Shriner, you have to be a Freemason.
And I see commercials for the Shriners Hospital all the time. They've helped a number of kids, and sometimes it's a big secret to people about the Shriners Hospital. I'm glad they're getting some publicity out.
Well, yes, that's a new marketing campaign for the Shrine Children's Hospitals. There are 15 hospitals throughout the United States. There's also one in Toronto, and there's one in Mexico City. And they treat children with orthopedic issues, burns, and also spinal issues. I had a friend of mine that recently visited the Shriners Hospital in Mexico City, and that hospital down there is the largest one, and they have 80,000 patients that they treat every year.
Amazing, just amazing. Now, I was told by the guy that taught me, the entered apprentice, fellowcraft, and master mason stuff, that once you become a master mason in Masonry, that's as high as you can go, and everything else is kind of an offshoot.
That's true. If you go to York Rite, if you go to Scottish Rite, those 2 appendant bodies, they actually basically shed additional light on your 3 degrees of the symbolic lodge or Blue Lodge.
Now, Scottish Rite, and I'm Scottish Rite. I went in several years ago. I think I told you about it. My ex-uncle-in-law was the Grand Master of the state, and I went in Cedar Rapids. And I know that they do good works. And York Rite, I'm assuming, also does. Can you talk about that, Wade?
Well, the York Rite is made up of 3 different bodies: the Royal Archmasons, Royal and Select Masons, and then Knights Templar. So each of them have a philanthropy. The Royal Arch, they help children with hearing issues. The Royal and Select Masters, they do a lot of research in the areas of various types of vascular diseases. And then the Knights Templar, their big philanthropy is really 2 things. One is to send pastors on Holy Land pilgrimages over to Israel, which I've been on one of those. And then also they have the Knights Templar Eye Foundation, which does a tremendous amount of research into various types of eye diseases. The Scottish Rite, they do scholarships for individuals that are going into educational administration types of graduate programs. And then they also do a lot with speech pathology. In fact, here in Iowa, the Scottish Rite Masons in Iowa, we support and help out the speech pathology clinic down at the University of Iowa.
Well, that is fantastic. What do you like best about being a Mason and being involved in all these offshoot organizations?
I think the thing I like the best is the opportunity to get to meet people. I've met people all over the country. I've met people, obviously, all over the state. I've met people internationally that are Freemasons. So, it's just the opportunity to meet so many people around the world. And
one thing I want to mention, too, there's an offshoot of Masonry that is for women also that we need to talk about.
That's right. There's actually there's actually 3 groups. The biggest and most well-known one is the Order of the Eastern Star. And that is actually for men and women. And they do a lot of good things too. One of the things that they do is they help individuals that are going into pastoral training with scholarship money. They also do a lot of things in their communities. One of the things that the Eastern Star chapter here in Newton did last year was we actually went down and we did a feed at the Newton Fire Department. And then we've also, just here recently, we've done, we baked cookies and we distributed those to different fire departments in the county. The Eastern Star Grand chapter here in Iowa, they have a program to provide quilts of honor or quilts of valor to veterans. So we've presented several of those here in Newton. So it's a really great organization as well.
And the Masonic Lodge in Newton does a pancake breakfast about every month, don't they?
We do a pancake breakfast every month. Our next one is this coming Saturday, November 9th. It's always on the second Saturday of the month, with the exception of July, which we do on the 4th of July. And we use that for some of our community activities.
And let's talk about those community activities, Wade.
Okay. One thing that's coming up here within the next week is we're going to do a Veterans Appreciation Dinner on November 11th, 6 o'clock in the evening. It's open for anybody that's a veteran. You come up and have a spaghetti dinner on us. We've been recently been doing the Books to Bikes program for the Newton Community Elementary Schools. This past spring, we give out 24 bikes, and it's a reading program for kids. Every book that they read, they put in a slip of paper that said that they read this book, and then each school draws for bicycles. So that's been a real successful thing for us. We try to help out the fire department, police department with some donations throughout the year. We always sponsor a luncheon in December for Shop with a Cop. So we just try to help out wherever we can in the community. We've also, this year, we've helped out Open Arms Foundation. We raised $4,000 for them.
How does one become a Mason?
Well, to become a Mason, first of all, you fill out a petition, and then you turn it into the lodge, and the lodge then will assign 3 guys to go and visit with them, with the individual, talk a little bit about any questions that they might have and that type of thing. And then the lodge will vote on it. It has to be a unanimous ballot. And then once they're approved through a vote of the lodge, then the individual can start the degree process. There are 2 things to be a Freemason. One is that you have a belief in a supreme being, and the other is that you don't have any type of felony convictions.
All right. The Masonic Lodge is very ritualistic, and a lot of this ritual is based on the Old Testament, is it not?
That's true. Teaching by allegory and by symbolism is one of the oldest teaching methods that exist. I mean, Socrates taught by the Socratic method, and so that is a lot of what Freemasonry, how we convey our lessons, is through the degree work and its illustrations of various types of symbols.
Yeah, a lot of memory going on with this. I had a guy who was my mentor in the Masonic Lodge that I became very good friends with. It took me 6 months to get in to, be entered apprentice to becoming a master Mason. But these days, it doesn't take quite so long to get into the Masonic Lodge, does it, Wade?
No, you could petition 1 month, you could be voted on the next month, and then start your degree work. And we do, in Iowa, we have what is called a 1-day class. And that is, you still have to be approved by the local lodge, but you can go and receive all 3 degrees in 1 day.
All right. So on a statewide level, now, does the state lodge contribute to different organizations, or is it more done locally?
Well, the Grand Lodge of Iowa, the big thing that they do is a scholarship program. Each year, we give out $5,000 scholarships for graduating seniors, and then we also give out 10 $2,500 scholarships And then there's also a program that gives out scholarships for kids that are going to be going to a trade or technical school.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the Grand Charity Fund, which helps out individuals as well as different community organizations. We have 2 or 3 towns I know of that have a Clothe a Child program, which basically the Grand Charity Fund assists with that, and they help make donations to help lower income kids with clothing needs, particularly in the wintertime.
Well, that is fantastic. And I guess I want to invite folks to find out about the Masonic Lodge, about York Rite, about Scottish Rite, and the Newton Lodge. I'm looking around the kitchen area here. It's been around for a long time.
It has. Actually, Newton Lodge 59 is actually technically older than the city of Newton. The lodge was chartered in 1855, and the city of Newton did not become a incorporated city until 1857. The Masonic Lodge here in Newton is, there are only 2 other organizations in town that are older than we are. One of them is the United Methodist Church, which was founded in 1848. And then the Baptist Church was founded, I believe, just a few months earlier than the Masonic Lodge. One interesting thing to note is the first post office in Newton was in a log cabin.
Oh.
And it was directly down below the lodge, roughly where the Christian bookstore is now. So,
oh, I did not know that.
So we go back a long ways.
Sure do. There have been a number of famous people and politicians who have been Masons over the years, Wade. Maybe you can talk about that.
Yes. Probably our most famous Mason that belonged to Newton Lodge 59 was F.L. Maytag. He was almost a 50-year member when he passed away. Along with Mr. Maytag, Thomas Edison was a Mason. Henry Ford was a Mason. We've had 13 of the presidents that have been Masons.
Which is including George Washington,
including
right?
George Washington. We've had the founder of Arby's was a Freemason. Senator Grassley here in Iowa is a Freemason. So Freemasonry has attracted a lot of people from a variety of different walks of life over the years.
So again, if people listening want to become Masons or go Eastern Star, by the way, I was going to say real quick, my mom was worthy Grand Matron of Eastern Star of over in Missouri Valley, Iowa, way over in Western Iowa back in the day, and she was proud of that too. But if people want to find out more about these organizations, how can they do that, Wade?
Well, the easiest, there is a website out there. It's called beafreemason.org. It's a national website, and you can go out there. There's a lot of information about Freemasonry out there. If you are actually interested, you can fill out an online form. It goes to the Grand Lodge of Iowa, and then it's actually then sent on to whichever lodge the individual lives in, or whatever lodge in the community where the individual lives.
All right, fantastic. Well, I admittedly am not real active in the lodge here. I should be because, as you get older, you start losing some brain cells. I probably lost a lot of brain cells over the years anyway, but you get older, and that memory work that you do is probably real beneficial, isn't it?
It is.
You have to do a bunch of that, and that's actually kind of a good thing. It's a fun thing. It's a learning thing. So get a hold of the Masonic Lodge, wherever you might be listening to me from, and find out about possible membership. Anything else you want to add about Masonry, Wade?
This kind of goes back to the issue of religion in Freemasonry. As I said earlier, you have to have a belief in some type of a higher being. Freemasonry accepts individuals from various religious backgrounds, Christians, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu. And the other thing is that the Holy Bible is always open on the altar of a Masonic Lodge. So I really want to dispel the belief that we're some type of a religion, because we aren't.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, Wade, thanks for talking with us today. Our interview guest has been Wade Sheeler with the Masonic Lodge of Iowa, and of course, Secretary of the Masonic Lodge in Newton on Out and About with Jamie Grout. This podcast also sponsored by Tony Pesca, IO Realty. Little Red and I found our house through Tony Pesca, and she'll find the right one for you too. Tony Pesca, a great person to contact whether you're buying or selling a home. A lifelong resident of Newton, get a hold of Tony at 641-417-8484. That's Tony Pesca. Get a hold of her at 641-417-8484. Also, Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. They have prices you can afford, quality you can trust, and service you deserve. They're very appreciative of their customers and very community involved. They've given money to Paws and Claws and also the courthouse lighting, and recently celebrated their first anniversary with a big feed put on by the folks at the American Legion in Newton. Also, we want to thank Newton Clinic. Check out Newton Clinic's Facebook page. They value your feedback. Help them enhance their service by leaving a review about your recent visit to Newton Clinic. Your feedback not only helps them improve, but also assists others in choosing quality health care. Check out their Facebook page or check out their website, Newton Clinic. Also sponsored by Clement Mackey Insurance, where your insurance policy comes with an agent. Clement Mackey Insurance, very involved in the community. In fact, Alex Modlin from Clement Mackey Insurance participated last weekend in the Grandy All-Star Basketball Extravaganza benefiting the United Way of Jasper County. Alex was a member of the All-Stars team, and you can see some of the photos from the game at their Clement Mackey Insurance Facebook page. Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, also sponsored by Advantage Credit Union.
Let us pay you for checking with us. Hi, this is Leslie with Advantage Credit Union, inviting you to take advantage of Cha-Ching Rewards checking. Earn 3% APY on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $25 per month that ACU pays you. No minimum balance, no monthly fees. Simply do the things you're already doing and cash in at the credit union. Apply online at acuiowa.org or visit us in downtown Newton.
APY is annual percentage yield. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're with Dana from Newton Des Moines East KOA. And Dana, I understand you have a new service you're offering.
Yes, we do, Jamie. We are introducing our new Newton KOA handyman service. Is one of the services that we're adding. We have workers that have worked at our camp every season, and they would like to work for us through the winter. So we came up with they came up with our Newton KOA handyman service, where they're willing to come to your home, clean out your garage, clean any part of your home that needs cleaning or your yard, take trash to the dump, do some lawn care and cleanup, basic home repairs, excluding electrical and mechanical stuff that requires a licensed person. We don't do that, but they'll also hang your holiday lights and put up Halloween decorations. And we can also do auto detailing. One of the guys that we have does auto detailing. And even one of our guys is a seamstress. He's great at sewing. So
Wow.
If you need anything sewn, our Clarence can take care of that for you as well.
That's great, man. They sound like a jack of all trades.
That's right.
And master of all, I'm sure.
Exactly. We have Moses, who is great at tree work and brush work, so he can take down smaller trees. If it requires a lift, he'll let you know what he can and can't do on the tree end of things. And then Clarence, of course, he's a well-rounded, and Jeff does the auto detailing, and so does Clarence. We call it from mess to masterpiece. We can make it happen.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff going on there, and some people who can do things that you, I think, had mentioned to me before about Christmas lights. If you're a person that, doesn't want to get up on the ladder and whatnot and worry about heights and things like that, but yet want to be very festive for Christmas, the handyman service will take care of that for you too, right?
It's perfect for that. For example, my husband just rolls his eyes when I say we should put Christmas lights up this year, because that is not something that he relishes doing. And but I like having Christmas lights up. So for our reasonable rates, it's a great deal to have our guys come out and put your Christmas lights up.
All right, fantastic. Anything else you want to add?
No, most of the work can be done on Wednesdays or Thursdays, so we can schedule it. We do have a 2-hour minimum for 2 guys required, and we are discounting our rate for our first 10 jobs that we take. So if you're hearing about this and you need your garage cleaned out so you can park your car in the garage this winter, please give us a call at 641-792-2428.
Give us that number one more time.
641-792-2428.
Thanks, Dana. Until next time, grrr, out is out. See ya.